Everybody quiet, please. Quiet, please. Bo. Hey, Bo. Roll another one up.
After surviving one of the region's toughest droughts, the past 6 months for Jaipur's Gulta gang has been relatively peaceful. Until now. In neighboring city Delhi, rogue macaques have soured the monkey's holy status. Worshipping has turned to all-out war. Back in Jaipur, Tarak and the rest of his troop try to keep their noses clean. But a face from the past threatens to bring Delhi's war to the Gulta gang's temple door. In New Delhi, India's capital city, just 3 hours' drive north of Jaipur, life for an urban macaque is changing. After some monkeys have gone one step too far. Delhi government workers and officials have been viciously attacked. Offices ransacked, exposing secret documents. And worst of all, monkeys have been held directly responsible for killing several Delhi citizens. For years, local people in Delhi turned a blind eye to the petty pilfering. But in reaction to the violent outbreak, they filed a lawsuit demanding protection. The response from the Supreme Court is that Delhi should now be monkey-free. – 160 miles away in Jaipur, it's still a very different story. For now, at least. Tarak, his partner Rani, and the rest of the Gulta gang awake to a beautiful spring morning at their sacred temple home. The cool April air is a sharp contrast to the dry and dusty Jaipur summer months. With renegade male Zamir banished from the temple following his failed coup, the gang have been living in relative harmony. Barring the odd internal squabble between siblings. And Rani's eldest and eccentric daughter, Benita, well, is just being Benita. Also taking things slightly easier these days are teenage rabble-rousers Bipin, Yash, and Tito. At 18 months of age, they seem to be starting to mature a little. But as the boys take a back seat, there's a new bunch of tearaways stepping forward. Last summer's toddlers are now this spring's troublemakers.
Everybody quiet, please. Quiet, please. Bo. Hey, Bo. Roll another one up.
Isha, Rani's youngest daughter, is growing up fast. Approaching a year old, she's now completely weaned and is becoming more independent day by day. As daughter to the Queen, high-ranking Isha knows that whenever things don't seem to be going her way, the solution's always just to squeal away. No one argues with Rani. With freshwater springs, worshippers bearing food, and a playground to rival any theme park, there's no real need to leave the safety of the complex. But rhesus macaques are not only curious creatures, they're also highly adventurous, with a strong need to explore. Just outside the temple gates, the city is full of excitement and new feeding opportunities. Temptations the Gulta gang find hard to resist. But venturing into Jaipur's streets could soon become extremely risky. In nearby Delhi, the clampdown is having a massive effect on its city roaming monkeys. With 10 million rupees allocated to capture macaques, and the bounty more than doubled to 450 rupees per head, monkey catchers in Delhi are working overtime. Their efforts are proving very effective. Over 1/3 of the capital's estimated 15,000 monkeys have recently been caught and relocated to faraway forests. For those macaques that evade capture, life in Delhi can only get tougher. The government has made it illegal for people to feed monkeys on the streets or in any public place. Anyone caught doing so will be fined. Although at the moment it's a very different picture in the Gulta gang's hometown, it would only take a single rogue monkey to bring Delhi's war on macaques to the streets of Jaipur. They don't know it, but the Gulta gang's days may be numbered. As the number of monkeys roaming Delhi streets decreases by the day, here in Jaipur, the wild population is about to be given a small boost. At Animal Sanctuary, Help in Suffering, one member of the Gulta gang is at last ready to check out. After receiving severe electrical burns last year, Kavi has spent the past 8 months recovering under the watchful eye of animal carer Suresh Valmiki. For some time, it was touch and go whether Kavi would pull through. But the brave youngster's wounds have healed, and he's grown stronger and stronger by the day. Now fully recovered and virtually scar-free, it's time for Kavi to rejoin the world outside, and hopefully to take his place back among the Gulta gang. But this could be easier said than done. Mid-afternoon at the temple, and as most of the Gulta gang's adults relax after having lunch, Isha and the other yearlings are restless. Like all young macaques, they leap at any opportunity to have some fun. A simple game of follow the leader soon turns into the challenge of who can stay driest the longest. Play is important for young macaques. As well as reinforcing social bonds, it also helps strengthen motor skills and sensory development. Vital for when the youngsters may one day have to compete for rank position, food, and being a parent. Approaching 4 years of age, Benita's brain is already working overtime. She seems completely intrigued by the little lady in the water who bears an uncanny resemblance to herself. Eventually, like all games, this one runs its course with everybody suddenly deciding it's time for a dip. Back at Help in Suffering, It's time for Carvey to be transferred from his large cage to a smaller one for the journey back to Gulta. The staff have to be sure that once inside, he doesn't manage to escape before it's time for release. For monkey carer Suresh Valmiki, it's a time of mixed emotion. Despite his fondness for the youngster, Suresh knows it's no life for any monkey to be cooped up in a cage all alone. If left too long in isolation from their group, rhesus macaques will go crazy. Suresh knows it's time to let go. But it seems Carvey has other plans. Convincing him to enter the transfer cage could prove difficult. Open-mouthed stares and body postures are standard macaque signals meaning back off or else. In one way, these are highly positive signs that Carvey is ready for release and able to stand up for himself. Vital if he's to regain his position in his old gang. As Carvey shows signs of tiredness, Suresh backs off and leaves the little fighter to do things in his own time. Finally, the plan works. And the youngster can begin acclimatizing himself to his temporary home before hopefully being released back at Gulta tomorrow morning. Back at the temple, as the heat of the late afternoon sun and number of visitors start to fade, the Gulta gang become restless. Although virtually everything the troop could need is just an arm's length away, like all rhesus macaques, the Gulta gang's thirst for adventure is insatiable. The troop have an important appointment to keep, so it's time to risk leaving the tranquility of the temple and hit the hustle and bustle of one of India's fastest growing cities. The pink city of Jaipur gets busier by the day. Alongside the carved lattice architecture and broad avenues are side streets, packed with colourful bazaars and alleyways hosting traders of nearly every description. Unlike the temple, the city is packed with danger. Although the town's monkey catcher is tied up in neighboring city Delhi, there are still many other hazards. Each year, hundreds of animals get killed on Jaipur's roads. But with their ability to climb and traverse virtually any obstacle, Tarak and his troop take no chances as they make great use of the vast network of rooftops and electricity cables spanning the entire metropolis. They need to tread carefully, though, as along with high wires come high voltages. At their destination, it seems they're a little early. But a familiar call is music to their ears. The this is what they've come for. Since coming to the Gulta gang's rescue during last year's drought, Vijay Sharma now makes a habit of feeding the city monkeys. Come rain or shine, each day Vijay packs his panniers with fruit and other treats before cycling 10 miles to the city arch, where the monkeys eagerly anticipate his arrival. Like the pilgrims at the temple, Vijay feeds the macaques to honor his family deity, Hanuman, the monkey god. Although his distinctive cry translates as, "Your god has come," Tarak and his gang take it to mean dinner is now served. After previously tasting some of the finer foods in life, like ice cream, chocolate, and a whole host of other sugar-laden fruits, the Gulta gang are hooked on Vijay's offerings, and now just can't resist making this trip into town. It may not look like it, but rhesus macaques are quite fussy eaters. Nearly every piece of food is given the once over before being eaten or stored for later in their hamster-like cheek pouches, which have around the same capacity as their stomachs. In some cases, items are discarded for no obvious reason. Most people wouldn't bat an eyelid at eating a whole grape. Not, however, the Gulta gang. The skin is stripped off and spat out. They can eat around 100 in a single sitting. Rani quenches her thirst with a drop of holy nectar. Like all Hindus, Vijay believes that milk symbolizes the eternal goodness of human beings and is a generous offering. Eventually, the food runs out, and the dinner party comes to an end. Following the feast, it seems one of the gang wants second helpings. Since his first taste of ice cream last year, teenage tearaway Anu is obsessed with the white stuff. It appears he and the rest of the youngsters know exactly where Vijay gets it. But ice cream vendor Manjas Kumar is no soft target. He's been pushing his cart around for 8 years and knows a monkey thief when he sees one. The dangling cones are a tempting sight, so he keeps a constant vigil. Even when he needs to leave his cart, there's not a moment when his goods aren't guarded. On the promise of an icy treat, these local kids are charged with making sure monkey fingers remain firmly in monkey pockets. But children being children, they're easily bored and easily distracted. When the rest of their gang acquire a bike, the job of guarding the cart is soon forgotten. Anoop can't quite believe it. He chirps and warbles to alert the rest of the Gulta gang. The deserted cart means it's puddings for all. As well as having unique fingerprints like people, macaques also have a delicate sense of touch. This lollipop is too cold to hold, so Kamal, one of the troop's more placid larger males, takes it by the stick, exactly as intended. Although cautious about strange foods, the macaque's brain automatically gives sweet items such as these ice creams the okay. In the wild, a sugary taste is a signal for safety, because sweet items are rarely poisonous. As Manjas returns and counts his losses, the Gulta gang polish off the icing on a very successful day. Or so it seems. Someone didn't get their desserts. Someone has a serious score to settle. It seems someone may be after revenge. That someone is Zamir. Six months after being battered, beaten, and banished from the temple, Zamir is back. Bigger and badder than ever. After doing time on the streets, fending for himself and leading a solitary life lurking in alleyway shadows, it seems the big male hasn't forgotten his old troop. Time may have helped heal the former Gulta gang members' physical injuries, but the memory of being rejected by Rani and the rest of the girls is as fresh as ever. A grudge he'll probably never forget. With a track record of violence towards whoever gets in his way, if anyone is capable of bringing Delhi's problems to Jaipur, it's Zamir. Although the ice cream seller has the cart covered, this doesn't deter Zamir, who's willing to do whatever it takes to get whatever he wants. Stealing ice cream from an unmanned cart is one thing. Attacking children and taking their treats is another. As the locals react to Zamir's violent outburst, assuming he's part of the Gulta gang, Tarak and the rest of the troop quickly flee the scene. Although a fairly innocent crime like raiding an unmanned cart may go unreported, attacking an innocent child cannot be ignored. It seems Zamir may have landed the Gulta gang in deep water. After spending the past 6 months deporting monkeys from neighboring Delhi, the incident is enough to bring the country's leading monkey catcher racing back to the streets of Jaipur. For Zamir, this is just the beginning. Getting a place back in the troop is out of the question. He has his eyes set on a much bigger prize. He wants control of the entire temple, whatever it takes. Next time on Monkey Thieves, Kavi prepares to be released, but his bid for freedom could turn out to be short-lived, as Zamir continues his quest by drumming up support from the Gulta gang's most feared enemy, the formidable Fang.